everybody. Welcome back to the WF Football channel. It has been a very, very sunny day here in Edinburgh. It has been very, very weird to actually say it has been sunny in Scotland. But we have a mammoth show tonight. We're going to predict match week 32 and match week 33. So I just decided to basically combine them because they're literally very, very close to each other. But I'm delighted to say it, being joined by two fabulous guests, and it is a Merseyside connection tonight. We have Kev from Spider LFC. How are you, Kev?
I'm good, buddy. Yourself?
I am very well, thank you. I'm very well. And as well, for all the way from sunny Greece, we've got Mr. Tom May. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Pleasure to be here. How are you? All good?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. And yeah, there is a link in the chat, people. It is basically Kev's second channel, almost. It's called The Kit Men. Tell us a little bit about The Kit Men.
Yeah, well, it's not just mine. It's mine and Jack's, and there's another guy involved, which is another Kev as well, but he's more of like, we're going to be doing a lot of sketches and stuff on it. So a couple of times a week, it's going to be pretty much a full-on Premier League show. With people from all clubs coming on and talking about their club and giving their opinions on their own club and other clubs, and we're just going to do it that way, and we'll end with a few predictions for the week, and then we'll come back at the end of the week and talk about those predictions, see how we get along, maybe even do like a scoring system throughout the season for regular guests and see what way that works out, where people take me and Jack on for the scoring system. That could be pretty cool. The sketch shows as well, where we're going to do little, scenarios and stuff like that. Just funny stuff based around football and sports in general.
Yeah, go and subscribe. Go and subscribe. It is pinned in the live chat as well, so there is no reason not to subscribe. So it is pinned in the link, and it is also in the description down below. Good evening, Leicester Till I Die TV. Chris, hope you're well. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why didn't Han Solo enjoy his steak dinner? It was chewy. Oh dear. Hello, Des. Hope you're well. Dave is in the building. Hello, Dave. Hope you're well. Good show with James Pearce earlier. I really enjoyed that. I was actually on the way home from work and I was actually watching that. So, yeah, interesting. Bad news Pearce, I think, is what he's sometimes called. So, evening, Jess Warburton, Sonny Greens from Oslo. Jesus Christ, here he goes. Did you hear about the racing snail who got rid of the shell? He thought it would make him faster, but just made him sluggish. Hi, Hell, hope you're well. Hi, Chris Osborne, as per usual, and you know me, Hella. Yes, match week 32 and match week 33. Now, the fixtures are going across the bottom of your screen. So the first game is actually a Friday evening game. And it is a big one. Arsenal against Southampton. Yes, Arsenal drawing 2-2 in the matter of 2 weeks. Going 2-0 up against Liverpool. They drew 2-2 in that game. Going 2-0 up against West Ham. And they drew 2-2 in that game as well. Kev, is the pressure starting to tell Arsenal?
Yeah, well, I've been saying this is the start of the season. You're going to see a couple of surprise teams coming in. I said that Liverpool would probably finish maybe third if we're lucky. I said because of the length of the seasons that we've had, and if we didn't strengthen in the summer, then I said, look, we could finish third, and I'm just being realistic about that. But we might do well in the Champions League. We didn't. It's been worse than I expected. But in saying that, Arsenal and Newcastle are now finding it a bit heavy. It's taken its toll because they're not, Arsenal for the longest time haven't been used to being in this position. They've never taken on a side as resilient as City in the league because they are relentless, So when they get going, and as unfair as it is because of their unlimited funds and their unlimited squad, really, somebody has to step up to the mark if we don't, and it's pretty much been Liverpool that have not allowed this league to become a farmers' league in the last 5-6 seasons. And now it was up to Arsenal this season to do it, and United tried to stay involved in it for a bit. They couldn't. Spurs, I don't know don't even ask me how Spurs are in this position they're in. But anyway, they're saying that, look, the pressure's mounting now on them. I think United will still have a few twists and turns and results, but I still think they'll get over the line at this stage just because of who's below them. Brighton would be the biggest worry, except for they've got a few tough games coming up. And for me, Newcastle, they're starting to feel the pinch. But I mean that result against Aston Villa last week was a poor one for them. And Villa I've said it from the start, if we stay point for point with Aston Villa, by the time it comes to the end of the season and they keep winning their games and whatever, then and they do us, they get results against United or Spurs ahead of us, then we're okay because we beat them. And even if we don't and we draw, our goal difference is far superior. So even if they were to get into the fourth spot, we would take it over just by getting the right results alongside them. So look, it's positive. It's 8-9 points. It's a long way for Liverpool, but I just think that Newcastle and Arsenal are starting to feel the pinch. I still believe that there's enough in Arsenal to get over the line, and City. I just think that if they can go and not lose to City next week, I think they'll be okay. We'll see.
It will be very interesting. I mean, Tom, Southampton are slowly but surely being sort of cut apart now, aren't they?
Yeah, they haven't been playing the best, and there's the odd few games that they look like they should have won the game, but I think them going to Arsenal, I think Arsenal are just going to rip them apart. Personally, I think as much as Arsenal look like they bottled it last weekend, I think going to Southampton they'll get the easy win. I think with Arsenal, due to the injury of Saliba, I think the defence went a bit shaky as well. I think they miss him quite a bit, but still, again, I think like Kev said, I think when it goes to the City game, I think that's when they're going to count. I think if they get a draw, I think they'll comfortably take the title. I think.
So, what are we going for? That I'm going to be honest. I'm going to actually go and say this. I think Arsenal will keep a 2-0 lead this week. I'm going to predict them to beat Southampton 2-0. Kev?
Arsenal at home or away? I didn't see that.
Home.
Oh no, home. Yeah, no, I think it's 4-0, 4-1, that kind of way. Even if I don't think Southampton could do it away from home. I think that I think Arsenal will destroy them this time, and there won't be any 2-goal loss. If they do, that's the season over for Arsenal. I think, not season over, but I just think they'll capitulate, and City will just they know what they're doing. City have been in this position for the last 10 years, 10, 11 years. So they know what they're doing. Really, I think there's only like 2 seasons where they dropped off.
It's another chance to get back, 7 points clear before they play City, and that could be very, very important. I know the City will have a game in hand over Arsenal, but having that advantage going into that game should be enough. So Kev's going 4-0, I've gone 2-0. Tom, what are you going for in this one?
To be fair, literally, I've just wrote down 4-1.
4-1.
Yeah, just wrote it down, man.
Oh well, there we go. Guys, get involved in the live chat. I will read out your comments. Hello, John Hand. Hope you are well. Good evening, Ryan, as well. Huddersfield Town Fan TV. Hope you're well. Did see your vlog last night for the Sunderland game. Looked a good game, actually. Good game. Nate is in the building. Hello, Nate. Hope you're well. Per Southampton says, "Hello. I see a draw here. Probably wishful thinking, but why not 2-2?" Reese Gaming Channel is also going 4-0. To the Gunners. So everyone is expecting, apart from Hela, a comfortable evening for the Gunners. The next game is a Saturday lunchtime game. It's Fulham against Leeds United. Yes. Fulham. Yeah, Tom. 3-1 defeat to Fulham. But obviously Leeds, I think the main thing as well, Leeds 6-1 defeat at home to Liverpool. Is this a good time to go to Fulham, especially with the fact that they are already safe, but they did win last weekend?
I don't think anyone's safe really, are they? Let's be honest. But no, to be honest, I think Fulham, no matter what, I think all the other teams in the top half now are literally pinpointing who they want to stay up. I think that's what's going to happen now. But I think Leeds, they just leak goals. Like, the last 2 games, they lost 5-1 Palace, get battered by Liverpool 6-1. They're all right scoring the first goal, but after that, it's trying to maintain that park on the bus, which they can't manage to do. But no, to be fair, I give Marco Silva some credit with Fulham. He's done well with this team this year. He brought in some some decent players. Paulinho, all right, he's not being featured much because he's been injured, but I'm being quite impressed. And I think Leeds. I think Leeds are. I predict Leeds go down in my estimation anyway. I don't think they can handle it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, we were obviously speaking to our good friend Carl the other night, and he's worried. He is worried about Leeds potentially going down. However, you came to the idea that Leeds might actually not go down because of their attacking talent.
Yeah, I think that they're relentless when it comes to try and press, but if they come up against the weaker side, I think Palace have been kind of bolstered by the return of Y, as we call him, but I think that Leeds got a bit shell shocked in the period of a few minutes. I think they scored like 4 or 5 goals in like less than 20, 24 minutes or something like that. Like, it was just loads. So they were a bit shell shocked with that, and I think Liverpool have just been on their game since the second half against Arsenal onwards. I think they've just been looking like the old Liverpool, and so I don't think anybody predicted that Leeds might get anything out of the game, because even when Konate made that error for Liverpool, we went straight back up the other side and scored like almost instantly. So there was no complacency, there was nothing left there. No overthinking, nothing. Just got on with the job and knew we had a job to do. But for me, I think Leeds can survive it. I just think that they can, once they get going and they play their football, they do play quite good tiki-taka football, but when they get going, but their defense is just leaking too many goals. So I think it's at a point where can we score more than you in a game, and they just have to come up against sides that are just not free-flowing in their scoring, but do tend to win games, and if they do that, they can beat these kind of sides. I just find that for me, it's between Leeds and Everton to go down at this stage. I think Leicester and Southampton will do it. I think the Leicester's just been too poor to recover, and I think Southampton are just too far behind now to kind of start, doing anything about it. If they do, it'll be amazing. It'll be a great comeback for them, in the season. But yeah, I still think with Leeds' nous, they're able to stay up. But do I want to see that? I don't know. I love the Merseyside derby. I do. I just want that record gone from them. I've never been relegated. They'll come straight back up, so I'm not bothered either way, But I'll miss those 6 points though every season. Yeah.
Biting my tongue here, lad.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone 2-0 Fulham. I just can't see anything from Leeds. I can't see Leeds getting anything from Fulham, but that game against Leicester City midweek is so important. So I'm going to say that Fulham win 2-0, but I don't think it's going to be a disastrous result for Leeds anyway. So Tom, what are you going for in this one?
I've gone 3-1 Fulham.
3-1 Fulham. Kev?
Fulham are at home, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think they can be nicked. I just think that they're going to be missing Mitrovic against a side like Leeds that can push. They need somebody up front that's going to push on. I just think that that Everton have just been too open in recent weeks, so they made Fulham look better than what they were, and I still think that Leeds can nick it. So I'm going to say I was going to say 1-1, but I think it could be a nicked goal. Leeds 1-0. To be honest with you,
1-0 Leeds.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think they need to bounce back from the last 2 results.
I tell you, I don't know what else is brave. The fact that you've gone for a Leeds win, or the fact that you've basically gone for a Leeds clean sheet, especially the fact that they've conceded 11 goals in the last two games. It's a very difficult one to call. It's a very, very difficult one to call. El Scouse was in the building. He says 5-0 Arsenal. I used to enjoy Prem previews last year. This year just feels like sadism. 2-1 Fulham. Leeds are unraveling, says Hella. Vivi says 2-2. El Scouse says, I agree, they're unraveling 2-1. Damon says 2-0 Fulham. Fulham had their bad run. They should win. Good evening, Henry, as well. Race Gaming Channel's gone 2-2. Desmond. Hiya, chat. Evening, Henry. Hi again, Henry, WSL on BBC 3. And hello, Brian, as well. Evening chat. Everyone's speaking to everybody as well. Liz is in the building. Hello, Liz. Hope you're well. 2-1 Fulham, says Brian as well. The next game, well, Ollie Watkins returns. He returns to Brentford, and Aston Villa are in amazing form recently. Basically, they have scored in every single game since Unai Emery's came in. And also, Unai Emery was... Villa were 19th when he came in. 19th, and they are now 6 points off the top 6. It's a top 4, I should say. It's unbelievable to say the very, very least. Brentford have kind of lost their way ever so slightly. But Kev, when I look at Brentford... They've had a fabulous season. Yes, they might not get Europe. But you look at Brentford, you look at Thomas Frank, he has to get a lot of plaudits for what he's done to this team. But many people said that Brentford would have second season syndrome. My goodness, second season syndrome, they've basically wiped that aside.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's his philosophy, really, isn't it, Frank's? I mean, I said if anything was ever to happen to Jurgen Klopp, Thomas Frank would be one of my first picks to come in for Liverpool. I just like the mindset that he brings to the club. I like that he likes the family etiquette of the Brentford style ethos in their club. You know, it's very fan based and around that it's most other clubs they've got big family and it's kind of plastic in a way. But it's got that feel about it. But they've got a real togetherness in that fan base. They're loud. It's a tough place to go to. I think Villa will have a tough time. I'm hoping that in these kind of results, the likes of Brentford can slow down Villa while we kind of pick up the points alongside them, and then Villa can do the job over teams that we need them to do the job over, because that's what I'm kind of hoping for, really. So yeah, look, Thomas Frank's been doing really well. Unai Emery's got the best record next to City since coming in, since taking over. So yeah, look, Fantastic is going to be a great game, and. With saying that, it probably has draw written all over it. To be honest with you, So I don't know. I for me, I'm going to say a 2-2 in that. For me,
2-2. Yeah, Tom. Aston Villa demolishing Newcastle last weekend. I have to say that's probably the best I've seen Villa play in a long, long time, because they were very, very attacking. And obviously, if it wasn't for VAR, then I think Ollie Watkins would have had a hat-trick, because he's the man in form right now.
Yeah, he is. He's been doing really well. And to be fair, give credit to Emery, because like you say, from bottom to get the way up to even into Europe, it's a fantastic job. And it just shows you what he can do when he's got a bit of time and he can actually structure some plays. I think Arsenal, regardless of where they are, they kind of missed a trick with Emery, I think. I think they probably brought him a bit too soon, maybe. But he's a cracker manager. And Thomas Frank, don't get me wrong, another cracker manager. Like you say, done really well. Took away that second syndrome of, coming up to the Prem. All accounts, fantastic. And like Kev said, you probably see a draw, but I think Villa's going to nick this one. I think Villa's going to win 2-0.
2-0 Villa. Yeah, I've gone 2-1 Villa. I think Villa will sneak it, but look, it's it. Brentford have had a fabulous season anyway, but I just think Aston Villa are in a very good run of form, but they do have some tough games after Fulham. They've still got to go to Spurs. They've still got to go to Old Trafford as well. So some tough games coming up, but this Villa side are playing very, very well. As Brian said, name a bigger managerial upgrade than Gerrard to Emery. I don't think you can. I honestly don't think you can. Henry says Gerrard possibly to Olympiacos. I've seen a few wee rumours of that. Hella says Brentford are not far in the moment. Great season for them regardless. 3-2 Villa. Ooh, that would be a bit of a goal fest, that one. That's great news, Henry. Congrats. Yeah, 109 subscribers, I think it is now. 2-1 Villa. Good evening, Niall. Hope you're good. Elscars are saying 1-1. Everyone's saying hello to everybody else. Arsenal 1, Brentford 0, says Reese Gaming Channel. So yeah, everyone seems to be going for Villa, but Kev's 2-2, Tom 2-0 Villa as well. Yeah, the next game, Crystal Palace against Everton. Well, what a run Roy Hodgson has been on since he's come Yeah, people said it was a very, very interesting choice to bring in, but I think people kind of forget that Roy Hodgson is actually a survival specialist. Yes, I know it didn't really work out from Watford, but Palace is his club. Palace is his club, and you know he came in. Palace have kind of been very, very good recently, and they are playing an Everton side. Let's be honest, I didn't see that defeat against Fulham coming, Tom. I'll be honest. I had a feeling you might actually win that. Just considering the Fulham's bad recent record as well. But you're going to a very hard place in Selhurst Park. How are you feeling going into this one?
I'm not confident one bit. I always said, like I said with the game last weekend, I said if we scored first, we would have won that. But you know, us. To be fair, even when we scored and like when we scored the second at the first, I was like, we probably got a chance because we got the momentum, and then just dropped then after that. But no, I'm not confident at all. Go to Selhurst Park. Nah, not at all. I think we'll get battered everywhere that game. Personally,
Really?
Yeah. Being honest.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, Roy Hodgson. What can you say? He's come in. Palace are scoring goals for fun. I think that's like 9 goals in 3 games since he's came in.
Yeah, I think that Eze and Elise have been brilliant for him as well. So when they've been playing, so I mean they've been very, very much key in filling in the boots that kind of Zaha's left there, really, or just use the Zaha's left there in covering. And look, I kind of agree with Tom if he's worried a bit about Crystal Palace. If it was at Everton's ground, would I turn around and say the same thing? But Everton have been losing the same type of games at home that they have away, especially in the last 3 or 4 months. So I can't see anything but Palace getting a result. But then, Everton pop up and they beat Arsenal, come back a couple of months back out of nowhere, and then go on and have a bad run against. You just don't know. Like the farm team, it's weird when you're playing Everton because they can either turn up or they don't. And you just don't know what you're going to get. So for me, it's just too inconsistent. And because they're in that battle with Leeds down below, I think this could be a slippery one for them. So for me, I think, as you say, Roy Hodgson is a survival expert. If you have Big Sam is the same, then he's small Y, and and the two guys are just together. They are survival experts. So I would 100% say I think it could be 3-1 Palace.
3-1 Palace, yeah. Tom has disappeared. I think he will be back shortly. I'll be honest, I have gone 2-0 to Palace. I can't see anything other than a Palace one, especially with the way that Palace have been playing as well. And I think as well, Tom's back. I think as well, you've got to say Eze Oli. There he is. Eze Olise have been very, very good recently, and I think as well, Mateta has to get a lot of credit. Mateta has to get a lot of.
He's played a bit of a false nine. He's played a bit of a Bobby role, hasn't he? He's kind of come in and done kind of somewhat of Bobby's job, or he's false 9, false 10, whatever he can. He's been working his way out the wings. He's been helping out there. He's been popping up everywhere really. So he's been a go-to pivot guy for the front line, and I think he's created more chances for Palace. I think Roy Hodgson has a talent for unlocking things in players that you wouldn't normally see happen. I was sorry that it never worked out for him at Liverpool because I had great time for him. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a good manager. I think he's a good football tactician and thinker. And I feel sorry for him a little bit in his tenure at Liverpool because that's probably the taint of his career, So for me, I can't see anything past a Palace 3-1 win. To be honest with you,
3-1 Palace.
Two goals.
Yeah, absolutely. It is again.
I'm back.
No worries. What are you predicting against Palace for Everton?
2-0 Palace.
Same as you.
Palace. That's the same as me. Yeah, that is the same as me. I don't think anyone could have predicted Hodgson would bring the biggest new manager bounce. Yeah, I don't think anyone did. Liz says I wouldn't put money on it, Brian. Hella says 2-0 Palace on a good run. Now Scouser says 3-1 Palace. Reece Game of Chance going 1-1. Brian's got 3-0 Palace. Sorry, Tom. Hope you stay up. Palace have started scoring again and are better against the bottom teams. 3-0 Palace. Liz Golden, 4-1 Palace. Sorry, Tom. Well, if you thought that game was big, this is a bigger one. Leicester City against Wolves, a Midlands derby in probably one you'd have to say. Leicester City at home probably must not lose, because I'm looking at Leicester's fixtures, right? And the more I see them play at home, Tom, their home form is going to be so key to them staying up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I've wrote down all the fixtures for all the bottom teams, by the way, looking at it, and they're all very bad when you look at it. I think no one's got a safe little bet here. I think at the current moment, everyone's going to pretty much face each other once, like sooner or later. But give or take, I think, like I said, I think with Leicester with their home form, you either a draw or a win should be guaranteed. I don't think they should lose. But saying that, Wolves have been one of them teams just to nick a win. Just to nick that 1-0 lead. And, they're a funny team. That's what it is. Wolves are just a funny team. On a good day, they're unstoppable and unplayable. And then the next week, they'll just get battered by, like Bournemouth 4-0. It's madness, you know what I mean?
It is madness. I mean, again, though, Kev, Wolves, you have to say, Lopetegui, that was a good managerial appointment at the time.
Yeah, it was. And look, they're safe now. I mean, what is it now? They're on 34 points. I mean, the danger level, I think 36 is safe this season, rather than 40. And I think 34 points now. They just need one more result, really, or 2 draws, and they're okay for the rest of the season. Look, he's been a great appointment for them. He's had them fighting. I think Nunes has been good for him. They've had a good result against Brentford last week. And even me, I was putting bets on. I thought Brentford would win it, but the Wolves did look really well, and Diego Costa got his first goal for them as well. And look, Leicester are in a bad place at the moment, and unless they completely turn their form around, I can't say anything else but a Wolves win, even though it's away from home at Leicester. I think Leicester have been poor at home and away, and I think they're kind of easy picking for points at the moment. Whether no matter what kind of fight they kind of try to put up, there's 20-minute periods and in either half that they just kind of disappear. And their form is terrible at the moment. They've only got 1 draw in the last 6 or something, is it? So the rest have been all losses. And Wolves are on, I think they've two wins and a draw or something out of the last 5 or 6. So I mean that just shows you the form is on. The best I can think Leicester can hope for is a draw, because they're at home. But I think that Wolves could nick it, and I'm going for an old-fashioned 2-1 to Wolves in that.
2-1 Wolves. I've got actually 1-0 Wolves, because Wolves don't score many goals, and when they do, it's usually 1-0. Tom, what do you fancy for this one?
1-1. I reckon it's a draw.
1-1.
It's a good show as well. Yeah.
Draw. That'd be an alright result, actually. That would move Leicester on level, I think, with Forest. It certainly would. Henry says, gotta go and get dinner before the Champions League games start. No problem. El Skirser says 1-0 Leicester. Interesting. Brian says 0-0. That could easily happen. Liz has gone 2-1 Wolves, probably because of the fact her hubby is a Wolves supporter. 2-1 Wolves, says Hella. Reese has gone 3-1 Leicester. Leicester are going down, says Brian. I have a funny feeling that they will be going down. And Mr. B for Life is in the building. Hope you are well, mate. 2-1 Leicester. Mr. B's gone for 2-1 Southampton. Wow. Catching up, certainly. Well, the next one is Liverpool against Nottingham Forest. Kev, 6-1 against Leeds. Now, I know people will obviously say, yes, look, Leeds beat us at Anfield by 2-1. and we might get six goals against them at Elland Road. But at Anfield, we have been pretty good this season. Forest, I've got to be honest, against Manchester United, they hardly laid a glove on United.
Nah, United made them look poor, to be honest with you. And I think they're starting to hit a wall a small bit, Forest, but I still think they're good enough to get results against teams around them. Especially at home. I think their home form has been. I mean, we found that out this season, losing to them at home. I just think, look, Liverpool were in a bad period for the longest time. We almost look like we turned it around twice. But I have a feeling about us at the moment that we're in a good mindset just going forward. I don't think there's any complacency. I don't think anybody's taking any team for granted. I think we're going out there to play them exactly the same way as if we were playing Real Madrid every week. And that's what it feels like now on the pitch, where it didn't for the longest time. I think the attitude was wrong from us in some games. And I just think that they were hoping themselves that teams wouldn't turn up because they were playing against Liverpool and that they could just get an easy win. And they fell for it hook, line and sinker. And but I think we're a good vein of form now that and he's done well there as the manager, Cooper. But I still think that it's Anfield. We're in desperate need to get top four. I think we're going to push it all the way, and we're not going to care less what they're fighting for. I think it's 3 points and nothing for us for the rest of the season, to be honest with you. In every game, so I can see us probably scoring a bit early on in that game, no matter how defensive they get. And if we score earlier on in that game, I think it'll be a nice 3-0 to Liverpool at home, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I've to be honest, Kev, I've gone 3-0 as well. Tom, Nottingham Forest, 1 away win all season. That came at St Mary's. This has got to be a banker Liverpool win, shouldn't it?
Well, if you don't put a bet on it and don't put all your mortgage money on it, then yeah, you would think so, wouldn't you? But we've seen funnier things in football, haven't we? I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, you'd see you'd put everything on Liverpool to win this, and I'd be very surprised if they didn't, because after the way Liverpool have been playing the last couple of games, they've been playing tremendous football, and hurts me to say that, but they have, and now that you've got a goal to look for, and that's the top four. I don't think if you get that, I think it's going to proper dishearten you all to not get Champions League football, because no one wants to play Europa League football. No one wants to play Europa Conference football either. So it's either make or break now. So you've got to take every game as you stride. And for this game, we're going for 6-0 Liverpool.
Okay. 6-0.
Yeah.
I'd worry for Cooper if that was the case. I would worry if that was the case. But yeah, I've gone 3-0. Kev's gone 3-0. Tom's gone 6-0. We will see. We will see what people are saying. Mr. Bay for Life is just catching up. Leicester 1, Wolves 2. He says.
Mm-hmm.
Brian has gone 7-0.
Wow.
Liz 5-0. El Skirser 8, 5-0 for me. Do we still hate Forest?
Yeah, that's the old thing. We hate Nottingham Forest. We hate everything. We hate Man United. Liverpool, we love you. Yeah, I know what he's
Mr. Bay for Life 3-1 Fulham. Reece Game and Channel 5-0. Hella 3-0. 5-0 says Dan. Haven't even got a chance against Villa. Still going with 2-1 Brentford and praying, says Mr. B for Life. 3-0 Liverpool, says Mr. B. 4-0 Liverpool, says Shane. Right, oops, it is. This happened again. Right, there's 2 Sunday games the weekend. This is a big one as well, down at the foot of the table. Bournemouth against West Ham. Tom, Bournemouth, they're almost safe, aren't they?
You know what? They've surprised me since they got rid of Parker. Yeah, I think Gary O'Neill's done a really good job. I have to give him credit for it. Beating Spurs, you probably bank Spurs to get a home win, but I'll give credit. Well done to Bournemouth. I think, if anything, they'll probably want to play West Ham now, because they're not probably in the best form. All right, they got a draw against Arsenal, but still, no. I think Bournemouth's probably on their way to. I think they'll get a win. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win, Bournemouth. Their away record's been really well.
Yeah, they've been absolutely fabulous. I mean, Kevin, you have to say that when you look at Bournemouth beating Tottenham 3-2 last week, they thoroughly deserved it.
Oh, they were very good. I enjoyed watching it. It was a good game. And getting the last Spurs thought they were after getting back into it. It was, look, they're fighting for their lives down there, and they're showing the reason why you just don't show complacency to a team that's fighting for their lives. We found that out straight after beating United 7-0 when they beat us 1-0, and that's it. They're good at home, and like when you look at it, then you look at West Ham's situation right now, and like I was saying, maybe like from 16 downwards are involved in that fight. But I'm still thinking that West Ham could be dragged into that fight only for the reason of the next two fixtures, which is Bournemouth away and Liverpool, and that's their game in hand, that Liverpool game. And if we're on a rich vein of form and we're winning, drawing 1 and unbeaten in almost 4 going into which are pretty much is unbeaten in 4 going into play West Ham away, you got to think, all right, can they get a result there? And if they're sitting on 31 by next weekend, and Leeds are after winning or Everton are after pulling up, there's a chance that they could be dragged into that battle as well. So I agree with you guys. I think Bournemouth are still good. They're going to try and hit that 36-point target as fast as possible. I don't think West Ham have got enough flair in them. I think they're just trying to get through games really, and I obviously don't think they go down, but I think they'll be dragged into the fray a bit, especially in the next 2 weeks. And I can see maybe 3-1 Bournemouth. I think they can 3-1, 3-2 that way. I think it'll be a funny old game, similar to what they had at Spurs. They'll fight.
I'm in total agreement with you guys. I think Bournemouth win this, and I think if they win that, I think they're pretty much safe.
Yeah,
I think they're pretty much safe as well. Let me see what some of you are saying as well, and there's a lot of people catching up as well. Shayna said Fulham 1, Leeds 1. El Scarcer says I'll change it to 10-0 to help out the Toffees. Yeah, Nottingham Forest's goal difference is minus 32 at the moment. It's not good. Brian says never thought of that. I hope we don't get Cooper sacked. Look, he'll get a good reception on Saturday. He'll certainly get a good reception on Saturday, but you do worry for him. You do worry for him. Mr. B is speaking Norwegian to Hella. 5-0 Arsenal, says Shane. 2-1 Bournemouth, says Brian, as does Hella. 2-1 Aston Villa, says Shane. West Ham play tomorrow night. Yes, against Ghent. That game is tightly balanced at 1-1 as well. In Europe, I think, yes, they certainly are. Shane says 3-0 Palace. Going 2-2 in that one, says El Scouser. Shane, another one going for a Leicester win. Bournemouth 1, West Ham 1, says Shane. That wouldn't be too bad a result. Bournemouth 2, West Ham 0. 2-1 Bournemouth. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Leicester West Ham, the last day of the season.
This is what I was about to say, because West Ham's games are now. I think West Ham's fixtures are probably the worst ones, because you've got Bournemouth away, Liverpool at home, Palace away, City away, United at home, then Brentford away, and then it's Leeds and Leicester. I think West Ham have got the worst out of the bunch. I think like Kevin said, I think they could actually get dragged into this.
Yeah.
And it all depends if they beat Leeds and Leicester in the last 2 games.
I did not realise it was Leicester West Ham on the final day. Oh my gosh!
The only thing I think that saves West Ham is the fact that Leicester are worse than them at the moment. That's the only thing that saves them, and that's why I think Leicester will go down over that. And I think that Everton, as far as Everton and Leeds have been, I think West Ham can get a result in 1 or 2 of those games, but not against us, hopefully. But yeah, I said, they'll get dragged into it because they're playing in Europe. They've got a fight in Bournemouth next after that. Then they've got Liverpool, who are on the up at the moment, and we're trying to win. That's our game in hand. We need to win that game in hand to push on up to get into that zone with Aston Villa and probably catch up to Newcastle and Spurs along the way, which we'll talk about in a while. But I think they'll get dragged into it, and I think it'll just be I think it's going to be yo-yo for the season. I think even Southampton might get a couple of results and bounce back up and down. But there's less than 13 points, I think, between the safety net and them, and 7 points between the areas that I think are in danger, which is like 15 downwards. So I think any one of them are going to get dragged into it, really.
That's mad. That's absolutely mad. Dan going for 1-1 now. Hi Douglas, I'm officially Newcastle United supporter. Bayern supporter until the end of the season and give up with Chelsea. You don't give up with your team. Definitely not. 3-2 Bournemouth, says Liz. Hit that like button, says Liz. Yes, absolutely. Newcastle 3-1. 1892 Reds TV. Everton.
Everton!
Big up, fellas. Big up to yourselves. I'm going to guess it's Luke. It's Luke.
Because if it was Ricky, it would have been the A's.
Yeah,
that's true. That is very true. I'll remember that next time. We're allergic to scoring. We've not got quite to Newcastle top. Yeah, that's the next game. Well, that is. Oh, I would want a draw on that one, definitely. Newcastle 4, Tottenham 2, Palace 2-0. Brian says horrific fixtures. Southampton, Leeds, and Leicester going down, says Mr. B. Sportcat 1, it seems so. Nottingham Forest have the hardest fixtures, it seems, says Dan. Thank God it seems we're getting Nagelsmann. We need a huge rebuild in the summer. We're selling some homegrown stars to prevent FFP. Forest just about staying up. And the 7th of September 2022, arguably the date that changed Chelsea's season. Yes, the next game is a big, big game because it is 3rd against 5th. Newcastle United, 4th against 5th, I should say. Newcastle United against Tottenham. If there was ever a game that we needed to draw to try and get back into the top 4, Kev, it would be this one.
Yeah, absolutely. To know about a draw, I would nearly take a Spurs win in that one. I know it'll put them level with Newcastle. Newcastle still have the same kind of amount of games that we've played as well, so they'll be playing midweek as well, and hopefully they can drop a few points there. And if that's the case, 3 games in a row dropping points like that. And I still think we can beat Spurs, and Spurs are Spurs. They tend to do Spursy things, and nobody in the league is really happy with how Spurs have been treating their managers lately, and just the state of the club at the moment. So I think I would take that win just because I would take the win of Spurs because I just think there's points dropped in them, whereas Newcastle can turn around at any moment and probably get a regain of form going. So I would take that. I would take Newcastle losing again just to put them under pressure going into midweek, and then you can probably start seeing turnarounds happening where we kind of, us and Villa and Brighton, kind of drag ourselves up into that kind of area. But nobody's really talking about Brighton much in that situation. But I just think there's enough for Brighton to lose another couple of games for the season, even though they've been really good against Chelsea. They have been playing well, but whether they can keep it up. But they've tough fixtures as well. They've got a couple of tough fixtures as well, Whereas I think all of ours are winnable or should be winnable going up to the end of the season now. And it can't be nothing less than that. So yeah, for me, I want to see, even if it's a draw, that's okay. But I still kind of want to see Spurs win that one, just to kind of make them on level points with Newcastle, because Newcastle is our target, really, and we don't want them gaining any more points. So I don't want to see them on 57. I don't care where Spurs go because I just think we can beat them and they'll lose another couple of games anyway. So so I would take that win for Spurs just level 3 points, just let them all up there and level points in 4th.
What score?
Newcastle were very poor against Villa.
They were very poor. I think that's the worst I've seen them play all season.
Yeah, Newcastle they can still score, and I do. I'll say 3-2 to Spurs.
Goal fest.
Yeah, I think they're poor in defence, both of them lately, and they've been leaking goals. So I'll say 3-2.
I've actually gone 2-1 Newcastle because I don't think you can trust the Spurs side, and the way that Spurs played against Bournemouth the other weekend there was absolutely horrendous. Tom, I mean, this is a tricky one to call, isn't it? Especially with how bad Newcastle were at Villa.
Yeah, I think this is the pressure now for Newcastle to see if they can go all the way to the distance now. To sustain that position, to actually stay in the top 4 or reach the top 4. And I think they haven't got enough to do that. I don't think. I think Spurs are a funny one. Spurs are like, all right, this season you just can't understand how they've managed to get where they are. But that's only because all the other teams around them have been poor as well. So it makes them look better, makes them look world class. So for me, I'm actually going for a 1-1. I think after
1-1.
Yeah, I think Newcastle drop.
That would definitely suit us down to the ground, a draw. That would definitely suit us down to the ground. Look, I can't trust Spurs. I honestly cannot trust Spurs, but I agree with what Tom's saying. I think it's interesting to see if Newcastle still have got enough to do it. I'm not so sure they do as well. But yeah, Tottenham win would be nice. But I think it's safe to say I think Tottenham are in a little bit of a false position. Almost, yeah. I think it feels that way. Right, let's see. Shane's gone 4-0 Newcastle. Oh my goodness me! Well, they have had a 5-1 between the two. No, 3-0 down. If they were 2-0 down, then maybe. But no, definitely not. Brian says huge rebuild. You just spent 600 million. Oh, Chelsea are just in dire straits. Les has gone 2-2. Hella's gone 1-1. Dan Milne's gone 1-0 Newcastle. Chelsea hopefully missed the beat to be able to mind him or Enrique. 3-1 to the Magpies, says Brian. Yeah, Spurs are in talks with Enrique, I believe. Newcastle 2, Spurs 1. Newcastle 3-1. Yeah, we were with him, Mr. B. We've gone off slightly. Enrique now more focused on Nagelsmann. Enrique as well. Like to be Enrique Reese. 4-2 Newcastle. Wow. I think he's going to Chelsea. Enrique. Interesting. So that takes care of the game week 32 because obviously Manchester United against Chelsea and Brighton against Manchester City are both postponed and they will be played at a later date. Oh yeah, Brighton's game in hand is against Manchester City. That's a very interesting one, and obviously is the FA Cup as well. So we move into week 33. First game is a difficult one to call as well. Wolves against Crystal Palace, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be an interesting... I'm telling you now, all these teams are in the bottom half. It's just going to be far too interesting. And knowing Wolves, they'll win, I think. I think they'll beat Palace. I just don't know. I've got a feeling that the teams that we expect now in the bottom half to beat the other team is not going to be the way it's going to be. I think this year I'll tell you at the end. I've got a theory to everything. That's all I'm saying. I think Wolves will win 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, Kev, it's an interesting one. This one. Would you say Palace are safe though?
Oh yeah, I think so. I mean, Rye's working his magic there. Like if let me have a look now for a second. So we have they're on 36 points. They've already reached the marker. Wolves need to get to that marker. I think also Wolves want to finish above Palace. I kind of agree with Tom there with his thinking. I think that Palace will go all out against Everton, and I think they'll sit back a bit against Wolves. Just try counter-attacking football, and I think they'll be caught up by Wolves in that one. So I'll be a weird result. I think it'll be a good game against Everton. Then I think Wolves will just do like a 2-0 against Palace. They've been scoring really well lately, but I just think it'll be one of those games where they just don't score, and then they go on and probably win the next game again or something like that. So yeah, I'm going to go over the Wolves winning that one.
2-0 Wolves. I'm actually going for a 1-1 draw. I can't separate those two. I really can't. It's such a difficult one to call, but I do think that'll be a 1-1 draw. Shane's gone 2-1 Palace, as is Reese Gaming Arena. Gaming Channel, sorry. Wolves 1, Palace 1. Hella agreeing with me. Damon going for a 0-0 draw. Les going 2-1 Wolves. Chelsea still have to play United away, Man City away, Arsenal. Oh my Christ. Arsenal away, Newcastle at home, Brentford at home. That's not easy. That's not easy at all. That is the same comment. This next game, Aston Villa against Fulham. Kev, Villa Park. They're making Villa Park a fortress again.
They are, and I think like I was meant to say a bit earlier, like even with Fulham, that I think they're at a safe point. I know that it was a great game against Everton, but I still think that they're going to be on a coasting session over the rest of the season. I think they might get a result, they might get a few nice draws or something like that. But yeah, I think Villa and Emery are playing very, very well at the moment. So I think as good as the results have been for Fulham recently, well, just recently before they had a bad run, I think. So, I mean, they had a bad run before they beat Everton. I still think they'll slip into that kind of, lapse in judgment and errors and stuff. And when Mitrovic got over there as well, they're lacking on goals, and I think Aston Villa are kind of scoring for fun a bit at the moment in the way they're playing. And Ali Watkins is on tremendous form, and so I can only see a Villa winning that, to be honest with you. So
what are you going for score wise?
I'm going to say 2-0 Villa.
Exactly what I've gone for. Yeah, I mean, Tom, as we say, Villa Park, Watkins, Ramsey. Villa are the informed side of the league right now.
Yeah, they are, and I agree with what Kevin said. Like, I think Fulham now are just gonna, they're safe. They're just gonna play their football. Got nothing really else to play for. As Villa, like you say, could get into Europe if they wanted to. So I think Villa's gonna try and push it all out and try and pursue that. And I think with Fulham having a few injury problems and obviously Mitrovic banned for a while, should we say?
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go with a 3-1 Villa.
3-1 Villa. Yeah, I've gone 2-0 to Aston Villa. Let's see what some of you are saying for this one. Shane has gone 2-0 Villa. 3-1 Villa, says Liz. Ollie Watkins, England. Yes, absolutely. Dan's gone for 1-0 Fulham. Interesting. 3-0 Villa, says Hella. Fulham have fallen off recently. No chance of getting relegated. No, they are on 42 points. 42 points that they are on. So they're pretty much safe. Oh my goodness, this is a big game. Leeds United, Leicester City. If we thought that Leicester City Wolves was a big one, this is a 6-pointer. This is a game where I think people will probably say this is probably Leeds' one to win. But Tom, can you really trust Leeds? 11 goals conceded at home in their last 2 games.
See, that's the issue. As much as they're a good scoring early, trying to hold out that lead. But with Leicester, they've got the scoring power. They're just not playing very well. That's the issue. That's all it is. They've got Vardy. They've got Daka to do the even Ilacho as well. They've got the players to do it. Harvey Barnes, even on the wing, he can score the goals if he wanted to. But it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like they've got the right tactics. I don't know if they're probably still scarred from Brendan Rodgers' tactic. That's probably what it is. That they just haven't managed to settle into a decent formation, or think, oh, you know what, so we'll go down and then we'll just bounce back up. I don't know. I think, to be fair, you'd expect Leeds to win that, but
yeah,
with the with all the teams at the bottom, it's going to be hard, and I'm actually going to go for a boring 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, Kev, this is a difficult game to call. I mean, as I said, you can't trust Leeds at the moment at home. 11 goals in their last 2 games, but Leicester away form is absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, as I said earlier, with Fulham, I just think that they're settled now. They're okay, which is why I expected Leeds to maybe nick the win in the game coming up this weekend. And then this is all their game in hand fixtures really that are coming up now for them. So I think Leeds might get a bit of confidence from that, and I think they need a good result at home after the last 2 pastings that they got from Crystal Palace and Liverpool. And I think the fans are going to be pretty harsh on them. It's a tough place to go to at Elland Road when the fans are riled up, but once you shut them up, it becomes a ghost town. So I think the fans really do need to start getting behind Leeds if they're to survive. It's one of their main go-tos. Like just like Liverpool, we need our fan base to be behind the team to get that extra oomph out of it. So I think it'll be a good game, and I think it'll be a high scoring game, to be honest with you, because I don't think they're great in defence, both of them. And I was thinking like a 4-2 or a 5-3, something like that, to Leeds, because they're at home, and I think they need a result, but I still think they'll leak goals. But I think Daka can do enough to score a goal. You know, Ian Nacho can get in there. Vardy can always nick a goal. But I'm thinking at one point it could be like a 4-2, and then Leeds might go and get the fifth, and they might nick one at the end. But I still think it's going to be a 2-goal difference, but a high 2-goal difference, so a 4-2 or a 5-3, that kind of way.
4-2 Leeds. Wow. I have to say I think Leeds are going to win this. It's a must-win for Leeds, I think, and it sort of will get them closer towards that sort of that threshold. But I still think they're right banged in it. So yeah, I'm going for a 2-1 to Leeds in this one. Mr. B is going 3-2 Leicester. Nay says Vardy's done. Hella says 2-1 Leeds. Leeds 2, Leicester 4, says Shane. 2-1 Leicester, says Liz. 1-0 Leicester, says Dan Milne. 2-0 Leeds, says Reese Gaming Channel. Nottingham Forest against Brighton. Ooh. Yeah, Brighton, Tom, how impressive have you been with them this season?
As impressive as it was last year, but I think they've just stepped it up a little bit more. I think they've recruited right. All right. They've done really well. Obviously lost their manager, which set up the foundations for the club.
Yeah.
Got in a new manager who's probably, I think, 10 times better. Well, I'm not going to say he's better than Potter, but he knows the system, and he's just literally said to the boys, go on and carry on playing the football that you've been doing. I don't think he's changed anything. I think maybe if they do get Europe, then they'll sign a few more players, just to get that squad depth right, so they're not getting tired legs and all of that. And I've been very impressed. I'm very impressed with Brighton this year, especially Mitoma. What a player he is!
Oh, brilliant!
What a player!
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Kev, Forest, they need to win their home games, I think, to stand a chance of staying up.
That's the only reason that I think that they'll survive is from their home form and what they can do at home. For me, I think this has like a 0-0 or a 1-0 smash and grab by Forest. Trying to keep Mitoma and Newcastle and Caicedo and all that at bay, coming at them all the time. And I think it's very similar to what they did against Liverpool. I think they can do in this game. So for me, it's got 0-0 draw written all over it, just for the amount of pressure that Forest are going to soak up at home, and then be able to counter attack. And they could nick the 1-0, but I still think it's going to be a 0-0. It's just one of those games. I've got a feeling about that game because it's the 2 games in a week syndrome we've got coming up now.
Yeah.
Brighton had a tough away game against Chelsea and they did well in it, but then you got this week's cup tie, in the semi-final, and disappointment, and that could lead to complacency and stuff. So there's a lot of factors that are kind of sneaking into Brighton's game, and this is where they see their mettle. The same as what Newcastle and Arsenal are feeling now. I think these are the 3 teams that have improved the most this season, besides the recent form of Aston Villa. Those 3 teams are the ones that have kind of stepped up a gear in the whole league compared to everybody else. I think City have dropped off, Liverpool have obviously dropped off, Spurs have dropped off, Chelsea have been dire. I think United have stayed exactly the same, and that's why they're flattered in the position that they are, because they're still getting the same results that they were. They still have less points now than what they did when they had Ranić and Ronaldo at the club last season. So that'll just tell you, they haven't improved, no matter what position they're in. And but I think Forest at home is a tough aspect. Them fighting for their lives at home is another tough aspect. Brighton with the cup ties coming up, I just think it's got a 0-0 draw or a 1-0 sneaky Forest goal all over it.
Yeah, I can't see past Brighton in this game. I really can't. I've gone 2-0 Brighton. Tom?
I've gone 4-2 Brighton.
4-2?
Yeah.
Wow. I'll be intrigued to know who you think will score for Forest. That is interesting to say at the very, very least.
I'll tell you when I see the team.
Yeah, definitely. Helen agrees with me 2-0 Brighton. Shane goes 4-1 Brighton. Race Gaming Channel says 3-1 Brighton. Damon saying 3-0 Brighton, as does Mr. B. Nate says, good, I gotta go take care. Good luck to Liverpool. Thank you very, very much indeed. Chelsea Brentford. Frank Lampard, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Lampard. 4 games, 4 defeats. In his last 18 games, this is how many games he's won. 1. He's drawn 2, and he's lost 15. They've scored 11 under Frank Lampard. The last 18 games under Frank Lampard, he has conceded 36 goals, and he has a 5.5% win rate in those 18 games. They're coming up against Brentford on Wednesday, Kev. I've got to say, the way Chelsea are playing, I can honestly see Brentford going to Chelsea and win. Because at this moment in time, you cannot see Chelsea getting a result from anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at Chelsea against Real Madrid, last night, and I was kind of saying, they were playing some okay football, and then, there was a lot of second guessing happening. I mean, Mudryk came in, and he was, for the player and the talk about him coming in, he was awful when he came in. Joe Felix is one of their bright sparks, really, but he's only there on loan. I can't see. Havertz is not a striker, but yet he plays as a striker, and I think he's wasted in that position, to be honest with you. I don't say Brentford. The only difference here is that Brentford don't need to win anything. They don't need to go for anything. Chelsea are also, they don't need to go for anything, other than maybe, even no matter what way the results turn around, it still remains Brentford above Chelsea. So there's not really, and it's only just because of the form, right? Because the funny thing is that none of them have won in the last 6, and they both have exactly the same record in the last 5, which is 3 losses and 2 draws. And for me, we know how good Brentford have been in there, and as poor as Chelsea's been as well, Brentford. For me, it's just got a draw written all over it. 2-2.
Draw run all over. 1-1.
2-2, I'd say.
2-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom. I mean, I've just said it off there. Chelsea are just in dire straits right now.
Yeah, I think they know the season's pretty much over and done with. Like, I think last night was like the final calling for them to actually try and do something, maybe to get Champions League football. But and I think even with last night's performance, they did impress me. It's just the ball just wouldn't go in the back of the net. I think they would be very disappointed that if if that goal went in for Kante, they probably would have won that game. I think, personally, for me, because I think they were all over them, and they played much better football than Madrid. But it's not Madrid today, so I don't know. Like Kev said, both of them got nothing to play for, so it could go either way. And personally, for me, I'm going to go with a 2-1 Chelsea win.
2-1 Chelsea.
Yeah,
I've gone 2-1 the other way. I'm going 2-1 Brentford. Because I've got a feeling that Frank Lampard isn't going to win a single game as Chelsea manager. Just got a funny feeling.
Between the two of you both think that Chelsea and Brentford can score 2 goals. Hence, I went 2-2 against each other. So that so there you go. That's the kind of thinking right there.
I like it. Alice says 3-2 Brentford. Chelsea 0, Brentford 1, says Dan Milne. Chelsea 1, Brentford 3. We can't beat Chelsea. How they are going, we just as well give up. Chelsea 1, Brentford 0. Not really convinced, but you never know. Not interested in this game though at all. Hi Luca. 2-1 Brentford. We need to start winning again. Chelsea will be the ideal place to start again. True Red. Hi Douglas. Looking forward to another loss to us. With your away records? No. No chance. But you never know. You never know. Luca, I'm good, mate. I hope you are well as well. West Ham, Liverpool. Even though we struggle at the London Stadium, Kev, I'm kind of confident going into this one. Am I being too overconfident?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think West Ham have been playing well at their own stadium this season. I think they've had better results away from home. And yeah, for me, and I know they said that the record has been kind of a bit iffy there, but I remember kind of just good results there, a couple of 4-2s and 3-1s and stuff like that. And then we did have a couple of complacent results there, but no, I think that we're hungry now at the moment. When you see a team like Liverpool, who have been known for their pressing and their hunger and drive over the last few seasons, drop off as much as they have, and then you see that return in the 92nd minute against Leeds, we're 6-1 up and 5 players are running around the ball trying to win the ball off the guy in the midfield. That's the Liverpool that I remember seeing for the last few seasons. And I haven't seen that kind of hunger in even in a couple of seasons, no matter how well we played last season. I haven't seen that kind of gegenpressing being played, because I think we turned into mostly a kind of a counter-attacking style team in the last couple of seasons, and didn't really press that much, only when we really, really need to in big games. But last night I saw us pressing. I saw us intercepting. I saw us winning balls and cutting out balls that creating traps. Liverpool were the best side in European football at creating traps for teams, allowing them to look like they're going to play a ball that way, and all of a sudden they know that once this fella takes 2 touches, get ready to run, and then you get in. And that's what I saw again from Liverpool against Leeds, and I saw it against Arsenal as well. I saw us, we played Arsenal in that second half off the park, like absolutely off the park. They couldn't cope with us at all. And we couldn't, and Leeds definitely couldn't cope with us, even though they did well for the first while to not concede. Once they conceded and the floodgates opened, I mean, we only conceded through a lapse of judgment, or a lapse of concentration, really, in Kanate. And he knew it himself, but he got on with his game and was a beast in that game, to be honest with you. And so, yeah, for me, I can't see anything but a Liverpool win away from home in that one. I think we need to go on a run where we're winning away games from home. So we know that our home form can get us through a season now for the rest of the season, but I think that it is really important that we keep up what we've done against Leeds. Getting the 0-0 with Chelsea away, because both of us were poor at the time.
Yeah,
I think we need this result, and I think we go to the London Stadium and I think it'll be like a 3-0, 3-1 to us, to be honest with you. I think we need to go away, and I'm confident enough to say that if the lads are on form, Gakpo's been brilliant and outstanding for us as well. So I think West Ham are not going to know how to cope with him in the way he drops in, because he's different to Bobby when he drops in, but he will run at you as well at the same time. Luis Diaz is going to be a couple of games in now with his fitness at that stage, so he'll be sharp. Yeah. Diogo Jota's after scoring 2 goals again, so no matter when he comes on, he'll be hungry for a goal. He likes a goal in London. So I think it could be a 3-0, 3-1, 4-1 kind of job to Liverpool. I think we can go and do the job there now, to be honest with you. I think we need to.
Yeah, I've actually gone for a Liverpool win as well. I've gone 2-1 to Liverpool. But yeah, I mean, Kev was saying it there. West Ham at home have been terrible.
Yeah, they have, but they also know how to get a point as well. They know to turn it on the last 10 minutes. I think that's what people need to forget. People forget about West Ham is when it comes to the crucial times, they know how to get back into a game. As much as they've been dominant, they will get back into a game and they will punish you, especially if you're relaxed. And yeah, this is, I think, another banker for Liverpool. But you also have had very good ties against West Ham. So
yeah,
I've always liked to say this one's going to be a 3-2 win to Liverpool.
3-2. Yeah, to be honest, we've had a couple of 4-2s. We've had a 3-1 in there as well. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting one, that one. 2-0 Liverpool, says Hella. West Ham 0. I know what you said, Shay, don't worry. West Ham 1, Liverpool 3. West Ham 1, Liverpool 4. Arsenal 2-1. I'll be against Southampton, I would imagine. West Ham, Liverpool. Bayern City is on now, yes, as well. Oh, well, the biggest game undoubtedly of the season, this one. Manchester City against Arsenal, the title decider. All Arsenal have to do, in my opinion, Tom, is avoid defeat. But can they? That's the main thing. Can they avoid defeat at the Etihad?
No, that is the big question, isn't it? Their away form isn't too bad, but City now is just, I think they've turned up the pressure to full gas now. And they are coming in and hitting Arsenal like a steam train. And I think they don't want to let anything happen. I think the best, I think if Arsenal still at Saliba, like I said before, I think this will be a very different game. But with Saliba being out, it's going to be very difficult. But on that sense, I think Arsenal have still got the tools and the place to beat City. Odegaard's playing fantastic. Just don't let Saka take another penalty in his life. Martinelli can still score from anywhere. Partey. Xhaka can still hit them from far out if he wanted. And Jesus is back in the squad now. And he's already on the goal scoring front. So, yeah, I think Arsenal could... I'm going to go with a 2-1 win, Arsenal.
2-1 Arsenal. Wow, they would be 10 points clear if that happened. Kev, how would you see this one going?
Okay, so I'm looking at the fight that Arsenal can possibly do or get themselves involved in coming up to the end of the season. They really need to get a result. They need to get a comfortable result against Southampton, which is why I said 4-0 at home. It's the 3 games after that. They've got Man City midweek in both their games at hand. Then they have Chelsea, Newcastle, and Brighton straight afterwards. That is a diabolical run for Arsenal. And I think if they don't realise that they need that result against City, especially with those other games coming up afterwards, then, I don't see why they can't get up for a fight. But I think that we said the same thing when we were in a kind of a run in that, we got a loss against City, we got 2 draws against Chelsea and Arsenal. And for me, I think Arsenal need to go to the Etihad and just come away with a point and then worry about what they do in the rest of the games and hope that City can maybe slip up somewhere. But City are relentless when it comes to this stage of the season. They can just keep grinding out results when you don't think they will. And a Worley or a 1-0 can win it. If they go there, I think it could be like a 1-0 to Arsenal, but more than likely, as good as they're both going to be, more likely it's probably going to be a 1-1, 2-1. And I'm going to, just because Jesus is back and scoring, they are missing Saliba. He's a big loss for them. But but City aren't great in defence either. I know they've been using the same style with John Stones in the full back position, but as Liverpool, I should say. No, I'm going to go draw. I think Arsenal need a draw and a win, but I'm going to say draw because of how big the game is. City are going to be up for it. They could probably go ahead even 2 goals, and Arsenal could probably try and pull it back, or Arsenal could go up with 2 early goals and City pull it back. It's more likely that Arsenal could probably come out guns blazing, go a couple of goals ahead, and then City can just pull it back to 2-1. It seems like that kind of game. So I'm going to say 2-2.
2-2. I really want them to do it, but Tom's right. City are just in the groove. They're just in another level right now. And if the one thing I think Arsenal need to do is keep it tight for the first 20 minutes. Keep it tight for the first 25 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think City win the 3-1. But whether or not it'll be pivotal is another matter, because they will go back to 4 points as well. But City will have that game in hand against Brighton, and that is not a banker at all, because we know what Brighton are like this season. So be very, very interesting. Apparently, it's 1-0 Inter Milan against Benfica, so that's them 3-0 up on aggregate. So,
that's what I said to you. I thought you didn't hear me.
It's probably a Milan derby now.
Milan semis, eh?
Long time since that happened. Ali News, hello, good guys, good evening. Man City 2, Arsenal 2, says Shane. City win 1-0, says Dan. 2-0 City. Hella going for a draw. A draw would shoot Arsenal down to the ground. 3-2 Manchester City, and Shane is going saying it's 1-0 Inter Milan. Thursday games now. Everton, Newcastle. Well, we all remember the last game between these two. Wasn't it a very, very late winner because somebody on the pitch had decided to tie themselves to the goal frame?
Yeah, I paid him off for this weekend, for Thursday's game as well. He's going to come back, he told me.
Are you confident going into that one?
I'm not confident in any of the games, Doug. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be brutally honest. To be fair, the home games are the important ones, and we didn't do well against Fulham at home, but I think with the bigger teams, we know where we stand with the bigger teams, and I don't really class Newcastle as a bigger team, but where they are, I think we could do the business against Newcastle. We've done it before. And like I said, now's the time to see if Newcastle can handle the pressure of these later stages to actually pursue getting to where they want to reach. I don't think they've got it. I don't think they've got the minerals. So I'm going to go with 2-0 Everton.
2-0 Everton. That would be absolutely massive at this stage in the season. I've gone for a 1-1 draw. I think you'll get something out of Newcastle because, like as you say, I think Newcastle are in that sort of that stretch now where the final hurdle is sort of coming. Is whether or not they manage to get over that. Yeah, Kev, how do you see this one going?
You see, it all depends, though. We're talking about it now as if there's, we don't know what kind of injury status is going to be when it comes up to that game, because there's now, like, they're talking like another almost a couple of weeks away, if you want to say that. Well, it is a week or so away. But for me, Everton desperately need the points. So do Newcastle in their pursuit of top four. But it should say draw written all over it. But it all depends. Everton are going to need results more than Newcastle in that, like I said, if they're going to survive. And it could be one of those games where they do play like they did against Arsenal and nick a win. I'm hoping that they kind of do, so that benefits Liverpool in a way. But just instead, I think I'm going to say 1-1. As it is right now, if Liverpool, if Newcastle, get a couple of injuries or something like that, and Everton are really up for it at home, if the fan base are up for it and they turn up, then I think it could be, like a 2-0 or 3-1 to Everton, because Newcastle will try and they'll keep coming at you, and then Everton can nick a couple of goals. But as it stands at the moment, I just think it's 1-1 in the form of both teams and the desperation of both players at the moment as well. So yeah.
Interesting indeed. Say will be Arsenal. I think Arsenal doesn't have enough experience yet. No, definitely not. Dan's going 3-1 Newcastle. Race Game and Chance going 0-0. Hell, 1-0 Everton. Could well be as well. Everton 1, Newcastle 3. Says Shane.
Oh my God! Sané just missed. Sané just missed the shot. He went through on goal. Yeah, he put it wide.
Oh, Bayern need to take their chances against City, otherwise it will get picked off. South Coast Derby, this one now, Tom. Southampton, Bournemouth. I mean, if you're asking Southampton to try and get a win, this would be the game.
Yeah, this would be the one. And you know what? I think Southampton will get something from this game because they're at home. I think, like I say, if Bournemouth win their game, well, I'm not going to say that. But no, I think Bournemouth. Bournemouth, Southampton. No, I think Southampton. Will do this. I think it's going to be a 2-1 Southampton.
2-1 Southampton. That would be a very, very big win for them if they could do it. I'll be honest, I have gone for a 2-1 win but the Bournemouth, but I kind of see your logic because I think if they win against West Ham, I think they're all but safe. I think they're all but safe, and I think they'll probably go into the next couple of games knowing that they'll probably be safe. So yeah, I can see your logic, but I am going 2-1 to Bournemouth. Kev?
Yeah, I think Southampton can do this, and I think they need one good result. I think they need one good result against. Red card in the somebody sent off for Bayern Munich. Another saying offside, so no, it might be cancelled. Load of drama happening here, by the way, onto my left hand side, like a massive
Oh
amount of
my
drama.
gosh!
I can't not get distracted by it. But yeah, so there's been an offside flag going up. There's been a red card shown. So whether that sticks or not, so we don't know. Anyway, I think that this is the time where Bournemouth are going to be safe if we're going by the results that we're saying are happening in the next week or so. And then I think that Southampton, they're going to try and do a push. Southampton could win 2 or 3 of the last games, just weirdly enough, and not finish bottom, but and then you could have Forest who completely drop down in there. So for me, it's between Everton and Leeds for a spot. It's between Leicester and West Ham for a spot. And I think it's between Southampton and Forest. So either Forest would completely capitulate and end up bottom, Southampton will sneak out of it. I think for that last place, just on the edge of 18th, I think that's between Leicester and Leeds. This is where it could completely change in that 6-man drop-off point. So, for this result, though, I think it'll be... I think even a 2-0 win for Southampton at home, as good as Bournemouth have been, I think that they'll be safe by this stage and over the 36-point mark. And unless they're really going for we want a fantastic end to the season, they might take the foot off the gas, thinking that they might have an easy result. They might do a Liverpool this season.
Yeah,
and I think they might have an easy result coming up and then become complacent and Southampton nick in and catch them for a result. I think 2-0 maybe to Southampton, depending on the results coming up in the next week or so. If I can go by my predictions.
Southampton just need to win. That's the main thing. They just need to win. Helen's gone 1-0 Southampton. Shane's gone 1-1. Dan's gone 1-0 Bournemouth. Bartak on Holland a direct red. Wow. Southampton 2, Bournemouth 1, says Reese Gaming Channel. 2 big games for Bournemouth coming up. Hopefully they get at least one win. No red, offside.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
my
offside,
goodness. Yeah. My goodness me. So the final game is Tottenham Manchester United. Yeah, Kev, this is one game where I'm like, who do I want to win this? Actually, do you know what? A draw would be good. Again, a draw would be good. A draw would be good as long as we keep, Tottenham in that 5th place and they keep dropping points.
Would you like to see the probabilities for this? It's for the win. It's 36% Spurs, 37% United, and 27% the draw. Is your probability?
Oh.
So any one of them could win it. They're saying pretty much. So that has draw written all over it for me, especially at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's just White Hart Lane. It's just yeah, Spurs, United on the farm. If they're going to drop points, it's against teams like this. And if Spurs are going to drop, if they're going to keep getting draws or something, it's probably against teams like United. So I'm going to say 1-1 in that. It just smells like a draw. No matter how poor Spurs are, it smells like a draw written all over.
Yeah, I can honestly see it being a draw potentially as well. Tom,
I've gone for the 2-0 win United.
Very possible as well.
That could be possible as well. What have I gone? Oh, actually, no, I haven't gone for a draw. I've actually gone 2-0 Man United as well. I thought I said 2-2, but obviously not. Obviously, I had the 0 instead of the 2. Shane's gone 1-1 for Tottenham Manchester United. Now, Tom, you had something to share with us at the end of the show. What is it?
Oh, about the relegation battle. I think everyone's going to be on even points. I think it's going to go last down. My theory is it's going to go to the last game of the season who decides to win the Premier League. And then there's going to be about 6 teams that are all going to be on equal points. And it's going to be the last game of the season to determine who goes down and who stays up. That's my theory anyway.
Well, that's Southampton gone anyway because they've got us the last game of the season.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It'll be like I think the points between 6 of the teams. I think it's going to be close.
it's already getting there, and they're kind of squeezing into each other a bit. And West Ham are, as we were alluding to earlier, they're dropping into that section as well.
Because teams are getting dragged into it, though. They don't want to be dragged into it, and it's getting awfully close now.
Yeah, Wolves and Bournemouth will start pulling away from West Ham and them, and I think they'll be comfortable enough up there, which is why I think Southampton can get a result against these sides, and why, come to the last game of the season, it'll be a tough one, and Liverpool will be going for the the fourth spot at that stage. So. Yeah, it's all over the place. This is a great game, by the
way. But no, I mean, I'm gonna ask you both anyway. Who are your three to go down? Tom, who are your three going down?
Southampton, Forest, Leeds.
Interesting. I had Southampton. I actually also had Bournemouth and Fulham at the start of the season. I honestly think Leicester are gone. I think as well. If Leicester don't win the next two games, they're done for. I think as well. Third position. I still think Leeds. There's just something about me that thinks conceding 11 goals in 2 games is not very, very good. So I think Leeds, Leicester, and Southampton for me. Kev, I already asked you obviously the other night there, but
yeah, I like it. It's going to change as the weeks go on. Like who do I think should go down based on Southampton should be gone, Leicester should be gone, and the way they've been, and it was still always between Everton and Leeds for me. But if West Ham get dragged into that, I know Forest are there, but their home form always they could nick a couple of wins at home. They really could. And even if the other teams draw, 6 points is better than a team drawing 3 times and only getting 3 points. You know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. So I think Forest are capable of that. I think Leeds are capable of getting a couple of results as well. But whether if they stick in the rut that they're in at the moment, they'll be gone. And that's what we'll say. That's what we'll say of Everton and West Ham is if Leeds and Forest capitulate. If they don't capitulate, then my initial thoughts, just because of how poor they all were, was Southampton, Leicester, and Everton, because Leeds were doing okay up until the last couple of results. But that's what I'm going to stick with for now. That could change in 2 weeks, and I could be going for West Ham even over Everton or Leeds. It's just the way it is at the moment. It all depends on this week for Everton and the catch-up games and how well they play and what results they can get, especially against Newcastle. We need them to get a result against Newcastle for us. So if you're asking me, do I hope Everton stay up? If it means that Liverpool get top 4 for the results, yes. Do you ask me if Leeds stay up? If it means Liverpool get top 4, yes. So I'm not bothered really which ones, that kind of way. I'd miss the Merseyside derby for season, as I said. But I think it's between, I think Forest can get a couple of results at home. I think Leeds can score for fun when they want to, but then they can concede for fun as well. So it's all it's so close down that I can't say right now. But right at this moment in time, it's Southampton, Leicester, and right now in current form, it's Leeds. But my thoughts were always Everton. It all depends on the results because they've both. But Everton have got a worse running than Leeds, and West Ham have got a worse running than all of them. So we'll see.
It's going to be very, very interesting until the rest of the season. Reece Gaming Challenge was giving me a score update. Watford are losing 3-1 at home to Cardiff City. Wow, that just goes to show how poor Watford have been all season. And then Sportcat 1 says, proving everyone who's currently winning the Champions League goes through all the places where the teams are from will begin with M. That is very, very true. That is very, very true. But thank you everyone who's watched this evening. It's been a fabulous, fabulous show. My big thanks to Kev and Tom for coming on. Tom, where can the people find you?
Where can you find me, actually? You can't. On Xbox Live, if you want to be on that. That's where you can find me. No, but to be honest, I won't be. I think next year I'm going to start doing a bit of streaming, get the summer out the way, and then after that, November, you can catch me maybe on Twitch or somewhere, maybe YouTube, Kick, I don't know, whichever platform I find easiest.
All the championship followers can follow that channel. You can see
exactly if it ever happens. But yeah, until now, I just reappear on everyone's videos every now and again.
No, it's been a pleasure having you. It's been a pleasure having you. And
No,
obviously,
thank you.
yeah. Good luck for the rest of the season. I still don't think Everton will go down. I don't think they'll go down. Anyway, but Kev, thank you very much for coming on. Tell the people where they can find you.
You'll find me doing watch-alongs on Spider LFC, obviously. This weekend in the Nottingham Forest game, I'll be doing a live watch-along for that. You'll find me most nights gaming on Spider on YouTube, Spider on Facebook, and also Irish Spider Guy on Twitch. And also we've got tomorrow night we've got the Kitmen doing the Premier League show, our own type of preview, but it's more of a weekly debate show rather than kind of a preview show. We'll get everybody on from different clubs so that we can compare and have different opinions on the clubs and see how that gets on. So we'll see how it goes, because it's kind of a new channel for me and Jack, and there'll be a lot of sketch shows and stuff coming up with me and Kev involved in that as well here. So that's where you're going to find me, is the Kitmen on YouTube. Tomorrow is the next one, and then the watch along on Spider LFC on YouTube and Spider LFC on Facebook. Yeah,
absolutely. It's been a fabulous show, and I'll let them go in and enjoy the rest of their evenings as well. Hella says, "Night, guys. Thank you very much. No problem at all." So yes, we have combined week 32 and week 33. Get your predictions in. Let us know your predictions for these games as well. But until then, it is goodbye from the three of us, and enjoy your weekend and enjoy the midweek football as well. Good night.